Welcome to Rawson Connection, a podcast about all things Lehigh engineering, coming to you from the P.C. Rawson College of Engineering and Applied Science at Lehigh University. It's a show for students, alumni, faculty, and staff, current, former, and future, and for anyone interested in the many creative ways that engineers are solving the world's problems. Today's episode is the third in a series featuring students and faculty who are sharing their stories of teaching and learning remotely during the coronavirus pandemic. Susan Perry is a professor of practice in the bioengineering department. She's also the department's graduate program director, and she's been at Lehigh for 20 years. Like everyone else, Susan was on spring break when she heard that Lehigh would be transitioning to remote learning. It was a week where she'd been rushing around getting all the stuff done that's tough to do during a regular semester. Going to the doctor, getting her hair cut. She knew she could count on the university's full support for the transition. But as you'll hear, facing the new reality was a little intimidating at first. But in part, what's come out of this for Susan is an even deeper respect for her colleagues and for their commitment to making sure that students succeed no matter what the obstacle.
I'm Susan Perry. I am a professor of practice in the Department of Bioengineering at Lehigh University. When we got the first notification that we should consider it and that we would need to think about making this transition rapidly, it was a little bit daunting, I have to say. I was pretty confident in my own initial transition for being able to provide information for students, but I teach a laboratory course. I was scared to death about how I was going to make the last part of my semester meaningful to the students when they couldn't be in the lab doing their hands-on work. So right before spring break, we had almost completed everything except perhaps one benchwork laboratory planned experiment. When I knew that we were going to be going online, I grabbed my TA and I got into the lab and we set up the experiment. I had her videotape me, discussed the setup, and I ran the experiment. They got enough information about the way the experiment is run, the application of the information, how it applies to real-world situations, which oddly enough was related to acute respiratory distress syndrome and wasn't planned, but boy, it was a very interesting connection, which everyone immediately picked up on. But I've been able to adapt the final part of my semester in a way that I think will be very informative for them in a very different way. It's going to allow them to deep dive into the literature much more effectively than they probably would have if we weren't in this current situation. They're going to be designing protocols for new students for labs in future semesters. They're going to be generating grant proposals. They're connecting simple experiments that they can do in their homes with projects that they're doing in other classes. And so I think it's, I'm always amazed at how resilient the students are and how willing they are to adapt. I'd have to say that the thing that struck me the most about students' resiliency probably occurred the very first virtual session I had with my students on Zoom, the first day of classes after spring break. And I happened to have my video off and my microphone off, but the room open as the students came in. And if I closed my eyes, I could actually imagine being in the room with them. The familiarity, the positive attitude was palpable. And the week before, I had been very busy. I realized that I had been so busy that I hadn't had time to be anxious. I probably, like everybody else, hit a level of anxiety that I didn't know existed. And I was not quite dreading Monday, but I was concerned about what I was going to find. And as soon as I listened to the students, I was immediately calmed because it was so normal. Their interactions put me in a frame of mind that I didn't know I could have, having experienced the anxiety at the end of the previous week. I also happen to be a faculty advisor for the engineering capstone design course. And I've been amazed at how once the students got over the hump of realizing that they had to address things differently and had to look around their world at what resources they had, it's been amazing. I have a team developing prosthetic hands in their homes right now. They started out building cardboard models with strings and tape, and they're moving on to 3D printing pieces that can be utilized to build a hand. I actually have a funny story where I was on a Zoom meeting, all of a sudden heard some very loud banging, could not possibly imagine what it would be. I happened to be close enough to my son that, and I knew that he was in a position where he could respond to my inquiry, sent him a text and said, "Go check out what's going on with the banging and please ask it to stop." He ran down the stairs past me as I was continuing to listen to my meeting and immediately texted me, "I would ask it to stop, but I don't know how to talk turkey." There was a gigantic turkey banging its head against my door. Apparently, it wanted to fight its reflection. And I had to turn off my video because I burst into laughter at the fact that there was a turkey interrupting my Zoom meeting. Certainly, we've heard concerns from students about their chances for success in this environment. I think that the key to all of this is open lines of communication. The faculty at Lehigh are absolutely committed to making this experience as effective as absolutely possible. Now, I realize that the change presents challenges that didn't exist when we meet with our students in person, but every faculty member that I've talked to is spending as much time as they can outside of the classroom working to ensure that the material that they present, the format in which they present it, is going to be amenable to students succeeding, and not just succeeding this semester, but succeeding in their ability to learn under a variety of conditions that they never thought they'd have to. And you know, I'm a person who looks for silver linings in everything, and I think that this experience is making all of the faculty at Lehigh better teachers. I think it's making all of the students at Lehigh better learners. They may not think that at the moment, but I think looking back on this, both faculty and students are going to realize how much they've grown because of this experience. So I'm in education because of the students, and this entire experience has reminded me what incredible people they are, and it's reminded me what incredible people my colleagues are. And even the simple tasks of sitting with my advisees to plan their schedules for the fall makes me hopeful for the future. And the connectedness of our Lehigh community is incredible in the best days, and it's even more incredible during these challenging times. I guess my message to the seniors would be that we're feeling the sadness that you're feeling. We're feeling the lack of closure that you're feeling. Every year I do look forward to graduation. I spend 4 years helping students grow into adults. So I look forward to graduation just as much as they do. They may not realize it. Being sad makes me know that I did my job right. And I want them all to know that I am so very proud of all of them, and that Lehigh is here for them always.
That's it for today's show. Thank you to Susan and to all the Lehigh faculty who are doing their best to make sure that students continue to get the absolute highest level of education. In a coming episode, we'll take you to the production lines, where Lehigh engineers are working every day to address shortages of personal protective equipment in local hospitals. It shows how engineers can pivot so quickly to solve problems and make meaningful contributions to the health of the community. You won't want to miss it. Rawson Connection is hosted and produced by me, Christine Fennessy, and please subscribe. You can find us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your shows. If you have story suggestions or feedback, we would love to hear it. You can reach us on Twitter at Rawson Podcast. And for more information about academic programs at the PC Rawson College of Engineering and Applied Science, head to engineering.lehigh.edu. Thanks for listening, and stay safe.